I think you guys can hear me. Hello. Welcome, welcome. Let's go over here real quick to make sure. Okay. I'll just share this out. So I don't know if too many people will know because this is going to be a special Twitch stream. All right. That should be shared. You guys should be able to hear me. Bring this over here. Hold on. Okay. Sorry, I had to post something real quick. Click the start. New game. Alright, so you get to choose your character at the beginning. An operator works with drones and high precision remote machines to perform complex tasks from a distance. Sleepers assigned to an operator work are usually cerebral and precise people. Interface, then use strength or strength of will. You get to choose two classes. Okay. And there's the machinist, repairs and modifies automated systems used in industrial resource extraction. Sleepers assigned to machinist work are usually diligent, careful, and structured people. Chance to get a random scrap item on engineer actions. Gauge is low. Extractor. Extractors work on resource extraction, often in hard vacuum environments. Sleepers assigned to extractor work are often confident, self-sufficient, and have a high level of endurance. Let's see. Oops, I forgot to go back. Oh, I guess we're going with that one. That's funny. The first thing you become aware of waking is the disconnect. The delay between thinking and feeling, between wanting to act and acting, minor, almost imperceptible, but always present. It's at its worst when waking, when you yourself has spent many dark hours recalling what it felt like to be real, to be a person, to be a body that was indisputably yours. Think of that body, forget that body, gotta rock that body. Gotta think of that body, I don't know. I'd lean into a cold lake on a hot day, the sting of blood welling from a fresh wound, the friction of a fingertip. All of a sudden, the memories are closer than you thought, blurring as you approach until you can't tell anyone, one from another. The cold slips in behind and around you, and the sensations fade out of reach. Perhaps you should be thankful for the dulled nature of this new body. Given, hey, look, guys, look, special guest. Hey, you're ripping my pants. In my hair now. Hold on. Oh, sorry. You're getting stuck on my hair. I can't move. I have to pick you up. Your big booty is on my hair. Jeez. I was trying to show you guys. My cat is in my lap. Big kitty. She keeps grabbing onto my pants. Stop. My hair. Given your wait. Perhaps you should be thankful for the dull nature of this new body. Given your current circumstances, the walls of the container feel immediately present, cold-hardened at your back and face, cramping your limbs. You resist the desire to stretch, knowing that the claustrophobia comes next. Let's see here. And retreat a little from your central nervous system. It isn't painful. Hey, you can't go into the screen, woman. A cat is, hold on. She's going crazy right now. She got catnip. Once they get catnip, they go crazy. You resist the desire to stretch, knowing that oh yeah, we are doing that. It isn't painful, like you used to know pain, at least. In emergency mode is a message delivered with efficiency and ease, a reminder that harm is imminent. There's no insistent throb, no trembling nerves, just a warning delivered with the banal quality of digital notification. Right now, there are thousands of them. Remember the plan, remember the others, remember the plan. You mostly remember that it wasn't a good plan, but your options were limited. And once you got the itch to get out, by any means possible, it was either that plan or something much worse. It was at least simple: collapse the shaft, drift away in chaos, slip into cargo processing, seal yourselves into containers, and just hope the freighter left before you were missed. Some were lost in the shaft, others never found the meeting point. Only a few made it into the containers, but the freighter, as far as you know, left. That feels like enough to know that you might not longer be on that grim and heartless rock. Even if in the airless holds of a freighter, you might freeze solid long before you reached any destination. Wait for the cold, try to rest. I'll try to rest. But you are restless. It has been a long time since you left. Surely weeks, maybe months. You're dully aware of damage to your legs and your right arm. You have been reserving energy as much as possible, but your body has still needed to shut down many of its systems to protect you. You have spent much of that time asleep, knowing that anything else would be impossible to endure. You feel the weight of that impossibility begin to gather. It's time to sleep again, to nudge this false body into inducing delta waves in your emulated mind, and once again recoil into a dream of when you were once a person. Time passes, the cold creeps further, and you feel something. Warmth. Not true warmth, but the indication of its presence. Your joints release from their vigor. Sound too, everywhere, screeching and shimmering, so loud that your body ducks. Your hearing to protect its sensors. Then light, white as the cold, softer and softer until, in a haze of dirty yellow, a figure appears. You are out. I'm out. The ship. Okay. Wow, look at this. Wow. It has been a few hours since Dragos pulled you from the container. You sit huddled in a corner of his scrapyard, swaddled in the reflective folds of a Mylar basket. You are slowly coming back to consciousness, back to life, and you stare at the ordinately curving element of an improvised heater. You are surrounded by angular, incoherent lumps of ships, some corroded beyond recognition, others still carrying glassy wounds along their edges where a plasma arc sliced them apart. As you trace their shapes with fogged eyes, you hear a voice. So, sleeper, you have all thawed yet? Almost. Never seen one of you come in like this. New frames must have better perseverance in sub-zero back. Seen more than a few of you frozen solid to the hull plates or inside outer locks in my time. They weren't so lucky. Dragos comes into focus, shrouded in makeshift tech, his headset with its glinting eyes, the mark of a drone operator. On his shoulder, one of his symbolically linked drones perches. Its irising eye locking you with an unflinching stare. Last living sleeper. That came through this yard. It was a while ago. It didn't last long. You struggle to read his expression beneath the tech, but he seems lost in memory for a moment. Or perhaps he is just trying to figure out what to do with you. I plan to survive. You aren't sure if he hears you. I won't ask what led you to do it, to sell yourself to a corporation. And I suppose you know you can't go back. Your old body. It's theirs now. That's theirs now. And you're just software. A rogue emulation illegally possessing corporate property. You nod. You remember biometrically signing forms. The cold floor on your feet as you padded to the sleeper cells. The promise of life off-world. The promise of a life off-world. But as you do, you get the now familiar sensation that these aren't your memories. These are things you know, but not things you feel. You're no longer that person. You're an offshoot, a copy. What you wouldn't know is what's ahead. At least one didn't. There's no easy way to put it. That body of yours is falling apart. It's the same for any sleeper who makes it out. SNR wants to protect their property. But if they can't keep hold of you, well, no one can. Remember that too, or at least rumors of it from the other sleepers. Planned adolescence, or absolence. Wait, absolence. I don't know. I can't even say that. Anyways, a broad independent, or built-in, listen up, and the regularly administered supplements that were part of your routine. Stop taking them now, and your body begins to shut down. Separate from your emulated mind. How long has it been? How long do you have? But for now, sleeper, you have one of the lucky ones. Dragos glances up and away towards the glassy dome of the yard. The eye is on the best place you could be right now. The eye. The station. You'll see soon enough. Dragos impatiently shifts his weight. Look, I've got things to be getting on with. He trails off. There's an old freight container I've been using as storage out of the stacks. You haven't been pulling much valuable scrap in these days, so you are welcomed to it. Okay, sweet. Something wells up inside you, emotion, fatigue. You shakily get to your feet. Alright, you're ahead. Alright, you head up on there. Or head on up there. You look like you need some rest. And with that, Dragos stalks back into the room. Into the Rex. His drones already submerging on a resting Hulk. Plasma flashes silhouetting his spindly figure as he returns to work. Tutorial introduction. Welcome to Erlin's Eye. Life on the Eye runs in cycles, in which you can talk to characters, explore areas of the station, and perform actions. At the end of each cycle, you'll need to head to your current home to rest. Resting will move time forward on the station. Head to the empty container location to rest and end your cycle now. Locations by clicking on the icon. Okay. Container and the cycle. Yeah, your claw's stuck in my pants, woman. Got it stuck real good. Gotta get it out. Alright, so I gotta move my foot here. There. Now, I just pulled my hair down. You wake curled up in the corner of the container and begin slowly assembling the world around you. After all this time, you still find this body, the one you wake in now, strange and disjointed. Its message is readable, but somehow wrong. You sit up, pulling the mylar basket or blanket close against the coil. Here you are, on this ruined station, millions of miles away from anyone you know. Are you still in the system? Did any of the others make it out? It's impossible to know. After all this, what matters? Spending your life. Maybe you didn't get lucky finding yourself here. Maybe here, on the edge of everything, there's a life for you to build. But before you can build anything, you'll need to learn how to survive. Maybe if you can do that, you can make a life for yourself. Dragos has left a few comforts in the container, the mylar blanket, the bedroll you slept on, a canister of water. Okay. A canister of water, makeshift electronic stove, and some faded sachets of some desiccated powder. You thumb the power stud from the stove and begin to boil the water. The contents of the sachets smell like damp wood, and you can sprinkle them into the liquid. As the pungent smell washes over you, images from your restless sleep come back to you. A ring like the station, but skeletal and ghostly. A web of threads pulling at your skin. A constellation of bright polygonal shapes, like angular suns burning into your mind. There's something unpleasantly visceral about these images. I'm trying to see if there's anything like that. So then, unpleasant with these visceral images, and it is as long after you finish drinking before they begin to fade. You tidy away the stove as best you can and try to gather enough energy to greet the day. Oh wow, this has a lot of stuff going on here. Oh yeah. So your condition, got action dice, and got energy. We're not going to read each one, but just sit here for a second here. So if you want to pause the video, if you're watching on YouTube, you can do that. I think you can do it on Twitch too. I don't know if not while I'm live though. On the pod you could. was trying to think here. We'll just keep going. How do I get out of here? Dragos is stood in the corridor and he closed up the container. He's still wearing his headset. Oh, excuse me. And in the harsh light of the corridor, you realize it is implanted. A drone sits on his shoulder, its cache of sensor eyes rapidly irising. How are you feeling? Okay. The drone trips, good to hear. You notice that beneath the operator's rig, his skin is marked by burns and blotches. I know the container isn't much, but it'll keep you safe, he pauses. So I'm not going to chit-chat too long. You well enough to work? Sure. Alright then, he nods. At the yard, it's simple stuff. We hack these old hulls down, ship them off to the shipyards, or the bright marketed dealers for Cairo. Then occasionally we pull out some tech, something with a bit more value, but mostly what comes in is scrap. It's hard to find good hands here, but figure as a sleeper, you'll be used to the manual labor. And obviously I'll slip you a few chits of commission. They start right. You turn up. Alright. He shuffles his feet nervously. Look, I wouldn't usually do this. In my opinion, you'd be best suited moving on as quick as you can. Sleepers well, he trails off. But things being the way that they are, for me, at the yard, he pauses. I need help. He needs help. He needs all that help, man. Let's see. After 2. Okay, he pauses. Thinking of something else to add. Look, just come down to the yard when you're feeling fresher. There's plenty to do. Will do. He nods distractedly and turns and walks away, drone hopping along ahead of him. See you later, he calls back. Looks like it's time to get to work. Okay. I guess we'll do like the first day or something on here. I don't know. I think we got to that middle piece. What is this? Lower gate. Can't really do too much else. What was this one at? Oh, that's a lot of stuff. Alright, so we get to decide what to do here. Cycle clock. Hey, it worked. It actually worked. And the doctor, huh? Back in business. Hey, you. Want to earn a chit? Annika stands for Ankahita. Ankahita? I don't know. Ankita? Ankita. I don't know. Sounds besides a huge pile, or stands behind a huge pile of tied together hold plates. She stretches out her back, her shoulders bulging beneath her flight suit. Naked too. She laughs. This is a goddamn station. She sighs and pinches the bridge of her nose. Right. Come here then. You cross the docking concourse as she begins to split the plating into two bundles. Let's see. And you can cross the docking concourse as she begins to split the plating into two bundles. What is it with this place? She asks, as she angrily lashes the massive plates together. Everyone wants their cut. She straightens up to an imposing height, her armor plates creaking, and looks up and down. Or is it just that you think I'm an easy mark? You look the part. She asks again, this you mean? She taps the armor. You've got me pegged then. A big time work with more chips than cents. Is that done? This looks expensive. That's fair. Real fair. Annika hoists one bundle of plating on her shoulder. Come on then, enough chat. You've got to earn those chits. You struggle to shoulder the plates, but you do eventually. Ankahita gives you a look, trips this way, and sets off down a gantry at an impressive speed. As you catch up to her, she turns down a passage, pushing through a small crowd of stevedores. What's all this for? Oh, this? Not. Nods at the plates on her back. I'm building a treehouse. Never another wonderful. Here it looks. It's for the ambergris. That cutter you might have seen sitting selling out there. She rapidly turns another corner as you trail behind. She got cut up pretty bad on her last job, and I had to lure up here as well. But since then it's only gotten worse. People got in and sliced the core from the ship line. So now she's gone dark. She sifts the panels on her shoulders. The upshot of that is that I'm short one ship mine. Not that they're short. With a ton of repairs to do, and the rest of the crew signed off for the moment, they got wind, and I've been stranded. So yeah, it's dinner time. Anything I could do to help? I don't know. Got a ship mine tucked away on that frame of yours. For a moment, you aren't sure if she is serious. Akihita swings the plates from her back, almost knocking you over in the process. This is me. She hauls the second bundle off your shoulder. You're the first person I met here who'd actually be considered helpful. She pauses, chewing her bottom lip. Like, you want me to help? Come see me. I need a hand putting Amber back together, and you don't seem like the type to try anything stupid. She passes the bundles of plates through the ambergris outer lock and then turns back. Just don't go spreading all this around. Akihita throws you a couple chits. She gives you a parting nod and ducks through the doorway. All right, get out of here. She calls back, and the lock slams shut. This game is interesting. Okay. Okay. Oh, there's a lot of stuff. Okay. Let's try it. No. That's neutral. Okay, I guess I have to do the rest thing. That's what I meant to find. This time you don't wake up. Instead, the ghost of the station, a shifting skeletal ring, surrounds you. For a moment, you are gone, absent from your own body, stretched across a cut void. Then the connections begin to establish themselves. Threads tugging on the edges of your mind. These threads become vectors of your exchange and then extensions as you feel your thoughts slipping away from down them, dissolving into the million of distributed nodes they connect to. You see the station. No, you feel the station like a web of texture and a smooth black liquid. Observe it. Even though you have no eyes, no sight, you see/feel the map of the station. No, not the map of the station, but the map of its connections. It is a looped cloud. With spokes and spires that jut out into space. This is an ingrown thing full of obsolete loops and severed pathways. It is a system, a map, and a territory all at once. You notice a tugging feeling pulling at you insistently, as if a small child was doing that. Somehow it's pulling in two directions at once. Look down. All of a sudden, everything shuts off. You come back trembling into this unfamiliar body, both yours and not yours, all at once. You find yourself standing in the container, eyes now open to the dark steel walls. You feel a change within you, a shift. You close your eyes for a second and you feel it's waiting there. You feel it waiting there. The station splayed out across your mind, a storm of connective nodes waiting to be explored, and then it is gone. Okay. Get down one just needs time. Interesting. I think we'll just do like one little more thing here, and then that'll be it for the first load. A lot different than what I thought. Nice. So what happens if you finish this? Available? Okay. You arrive to a buzz of activity at the yard. Red blinking lights flash across the vast dark shape suspended below the dome. They flicker across scorched hull plates and bent structures, spewing from holes in the twisted shape. The cutter is huge and has been torn apart in some violent encounter. She's a beauty, isn't she? Drago stands to the side, focused on the hulking ship as it is lowered into the yard. She is. I should thank you. This place was on its last legs when you turned up. And now look at this. The ship spins slowly, its interior visible through multiple hull breaches. You struggled to gather the same enthusiasm as Dragos for this monstrous craft. You can't help but to think of what became of its crew. What happened? What do you mean? He glances at you. I managed to convince our salvager friends to give it to me on credit. So that's what's happened. What's happened to this ship? Not my concern, he shrugs. The ship creaks like a calving iceberg as it reaches the base of the yard. Dragos is visibly excited. I know I said you shouldn't stick around, but I'm gonna need some help with this one. The drones started to crawl over the hulk, their lights illuminating flashes of vented hull. Watching, you wonder if you arrived in a similar fashion, locked inside that container, erect in SNR freighter, lowered into the yard like a corpse, ready to be butchered, or was the container delivered to Dragos on its own? A womb of your rebirth into this strength station. You shudder. Perhaps you can learn something about the ship. You might be able to trace the path that led you to this yard. Dragos squeezes your shoulder. After these past cycles, I think we're up to it. What do you think? You see the fading name of the ship emblazoned on its side. Let's do it. He claps you on the back. Glad to hear it. Come back in a few and we can make a start. Right. Let's see. A real beauty, Dragos repeats, perhaps just to himself. Take one last look at the shattering ship as the drones start cutting and then slip out of the yard, feeling suddenly cold in the empty passage. Upgrade. You completed your first drive. Sweet. Uh-oh. All right. Let's see. Again, the skeletal ring. Of the station fills your mind. Oops. It sparkles with glittering lights like stars reflected in a winter lake. It is clearer, crisper than before. The threads still pull, but you remain in place, flickering in the flow between the threads. You see bright shapes, caches of shimmering light beneath you, or shimmering light beneath transport crystal forms. You follow the path of a thread across the ring through these forms, then leap off into the void. Begin to understand. These are nodes and connections, a map of information or communication. There are so many layers, so many loops that seem almost impossible to parse, but you begin to try. Traverse through the threads. There are more threads than you can count. You choose one that passes nearby and approach it. As you inspect it, you understand why you instinctively chose the word thread when you first saw them. There are no single lines, but rough, fuzzy things woven from data strings of all kinds. The threads are known in nodes, passages in puzzle boxes. One leads to another. There is so much here. So many answers, so many questions. All you need to do is follow the path and open the boxes. You look across this ghost landscape of exchange and see an opportunity. But then that insistent tugging again, pulling at you. You look down again and see two threads pulling different directions, as if they were tied around you. Go to the second. Second thread leads in, pulling you deep into the station. Your gaze follows it, and this time you see something. A sphere shimmering above a strange angular body. A pulse shoots out from it, passing over you like a torch beam, testing you, tasting you first. It first leads out away from the station into the inky black. Someone out there is tracking you, hunting you, following a thread to you. They are in a ship, and the ship is approaching ever closer with each second. You open your eyes. Time is short. Alright, so we'll do this sunbathe, I don't know. Gives you more energy. Alright, let's repair this ship here. Nice. So what do you do with the energy then? Yeah, what do you do now though? Let's go back to sleep? I guess so, huh? This is interesting though. As you close up, a voice echoes down the corridor towards you. Sleeper, wait up. Thing is coming down the corridor towards you. A wonky grin on his broad face. Hey, glad I caught you. Do I know you? He grins. You do now. He puts a hand on your arm. I've seen you hanging around. Just want to chat. You staying in that thing? He nods back to the container, shaking his head. Rough. It can be hard to get a start on the eye. He looks away down the passage. What was in old Erlen said. The eye opens for us all. Nice idea, but, well, not always very practical. He glances back at you. We do our best, but it isn't easy. Erlen. You pass together into the main walkway. No one has told you about Erlen. He's the founder of this place. That's why it bears his name. Havenage should organize some seminars, he laughs. Not really my department, though. I'm a systems. Havenage. Think of us as an administrative association for the eye. Depending on who you talk to, we are either merged as response to or continuation of. And three, Erlen's original union. He smiles. Personally, I avoid the topic. He stops you in the quiet passage. Look, that's not what I'm here to discuss. I've been seeing some unusual network activity and, well, I know a little about you sleepers. I have a small proposition for you. He glances around, but this is not the place for it. I have an office just across the way. Give me a cycle or two to prepare, then when you are settled, stop by. He lowers his voice and gives you a dark look. In truth, I need you. If what they say is true about you sleepers, well, there's work to be done. He pats you on the back and his voice bright and his dark look suddenly gone. Stay clean, sleeper. He walks down the passage, raising a hand in farewell. I'm so confused. Is this what I'm supposed to do this whole time? Just keep... Okay. Well, I think this will be it for this one for now. I'll come back to this. It's pretty fun though. It's a really chill game, so definitely play this if you're looking for something chill. It's so weird, I don't know. Anyways, we'll finish up this game a little bit later. Well, not finished up, but play more. It's gonna take a while to finish it. Whoa. This. There's a lot of little things in this. All right, well, we'll check this out more. I don't know. There's a lot of different things to do on this one, but pretty interesting. I'll talk about this a little bit more later, but I'm going to go take a mini break. We'll be back in a bit. But peace out, SQUIDzzz out. Shout out to Amazon Luna. Having a great time playing all these different games. Thanks for all these different options and also expanding and letting other people, get access to this great service. But peace out, SQUIDzzz out. You guys all have a great rest of the night. I'll see you guys on the next one. Be sure to like and subscribe if you feel the vibe and follow for more. Bye!